and welcome to our discussion on the QADI section for XAT 2023. And without further ado, let us begin with question number 1. So question number 1 says that Mr. Amit has forgotten his 4-digit locker key. He remembers that all of the digits are positive integers, so 0 is not allowed, and they are different from each other. So you have a 4-digit locker key. Moreover, the 4th digit is the smallest. The 4th digit will have to be the smallest, and the maximum value of the first digit is 3. So that means that the first digit could be 3 or the first digit could be 2. Right? The first digit could be 3 or the first digit could be 2. Why can the first digit not be 1? Because otherwise आपका last position वाला digit would not be the minimum value. ठीक है? And then you have 2 digits over here, let's say A and B. Also, he recalls that if he divides the second digit by the third digit, right? If he divides the second digit A by the third digit B, he would get the first digit. Yani ki in the first case, that's 3. So you get A is equal to 3B, and in the second case, you will get A is equal to 2B because your first digit is 2. Okay? So now I can start putting in some values. If B is 1, then A is 3, but 3 cannot repeat. A is 2, A is 6. If B is 3, A is 9. This is when A upon B is equal to the first digit, that is 3, and that is our case number 1. So 1, 3, B is 1, A is 3 will not work because 3 already is used up. B is 2, A is 6, and in that case the smallest digit possible for the 4th place becomes 1. B is 3 is not possible because B is already used up. Okay? This is for the first case. Then you have the second case where A upon B is equal to 2, which is the first digit. So for this I have possibilities. B is 1, A is 2, B is 2, A is 4, B is 3, A is 6, B is 4, A is 8. Okay? So if the first digit is 2 and the smallest digit is in the 4th place, then that digit will have to be 1. Okay? There's no other possibility. 1, 2 cannot work. 2 is already used up. 2, 4 cannot work. So I can put in 3, 6 or I can put in 4, 8 as cases for a number starting with 2. Okay? So I get a total of 3 cases. The answer is E part 3. Number 2. Rahim is riding upstream on a boat from point A to B at a constant speed. The distance from A to B is 30 kilometers. 1 minute after Rahim leaves, a speedboat starts from point A to point B and it crosses Rahim's boat in 4 minutes. So 4 minutes, if I say that Rahim's speed of travel is R kilometer per minute and the speed of the stream is S kilometer per minute, then in 4 minutes, Mr. Rahim would have covered 4 minutes into, he's riding upstream. So that's R minus S because the stream is opposing him, right? He has covered this much distance, 4 minutes at a speed of R minus S because he was traveling upstream. Is it 4 minutes? Sorry, it is only 1 minute. After 1 minute, Mr. Rahim has left, right? And then 1 minute after Rahim leaves from point A, a speedboat starts and it crosses Rahim's boat after 4 minutes. So this is the time of meeting. Time of meeting is distance upon relative speed. So distance upon relative speed, the distance covered in 1 minute by Mr. Rahim is this, 1 minute at a speed of R minus S. And now I also require the speed of the speedboat. So let's say speedboat speed is B kilometer per minute, which is also going upstream, right? So you have the total distance is equal to time into speed, 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, this person has caught up. Okay? At what speed? What is the speed of the speedboat with respect to Rahim? So speed of the speedboat will be B minus S upstream minus the speed of Rahim will be R minus S. Right? This is straightforward now. So you have R minus S is the distance is equal to 4 times B minus R. So we have three variables in this particular equation. If the speed of the speedboat is constant, what is Rahim's speed in still water? They want us to calculate the value of R. They want us to calculate the value of R, and so far for this 4-minute calculation we didn't really require the distance of 30 kilometers. So now let's take the statements. The speed of the speedboat in still water is 30 kilometers per hour. यानी कि B का value they are giving. But even if you give us B, then S and R के बीच में equation रह जाएगा, so you cannot solve it. Statement number 2 says that Rahim takes 3 hours to reach point B from point A, that is while going upstream. So time taken 3 hours at a speed of R minus S will give you a distance of 30 kilometers, implies R minus S is equal to 10. Even if you give us the value of R minus S, still I cannot find out R from over here, right? Because I have a B minus R. I'll basically get the value of B minus R only. But वो R अलग से नहीं मिलेगा, right? So therefore, if we are to combine these two statements, R minus S over here and the value of B, then you can calculate R. So therefore, both the statements are sufficient, but neither of them alone is sufficient to answer the question. That's D option. Very straightforward question. Rajneesh bought an item at a 25% discount on the list price. So there was an MP. He got a 1/4 discount and then he sold it, right? And he sold it at 10. Rahim bought an item at 25% discount on the printed price. So after 25% discount, he has purchased it. He sold it at 10% discount. Minus 10% at this price he sold it. What is his profit in percentage? So I should take a value for MP as 100 rupees. Minus 25% becomes 75 rupees. And minus 10% becomes 90 rupees. So he has sold it for 90 rupees and bought it for 75 rupees. It's a profit of 15 rupees on a cost price of 75 rupees. And that is a 1/5. Into 100, 20% is the profit percentage. The answer is D part for question number 3. Number 4 was declared by XAT to be an incorrect question with some kind of data discrepancy, and so full marks were awarded to all the candidates for this question, hence we will skip it. Question number 5 is a standard question on approximate graph formation for this kind of mod function. All you have to do is mark the critical points. What are the critical points? Points where any of these terms is equal to 0. X plus 3 0 कब होता है? Minus 3 पे. X minus 2 0 कब होता है? X equal to 2 पे. And 2x minus 8 is 0 when x is equal to 4. These are now called as our critical points as discussed in the lectures. We find the values of the function at these critical points. Minus 3, 2 and 4 पे function value निकालो and plot them on the graph. Right, just put the values in, you'll get the value of the function. So f of minus 3 is minus 9, f of 2 is 1, f of 4 is 9. Okay, and then what we also do is that in order to find out after crossing the critical points, for example extreme wala critical point 4 के बाद या minus 3 से पहले, there has to be symmetry because a mod function follows some sort of symmetry. So I have taken a point after 4, for example 5, and उस पे भी value निकाल दिया. ठीक है, all this is covered in the lectures. Then what you do is just join the dots. Join the dots and आपका approximate curve बन जाएगा. ठीक है, and I know that f of 5 पे ये value 9 रहेगी, which means that it is going to stay constant. So when it is going to stay constant, now I am able to observe that for this particular function, maximum value is 9, minimum value is minus 9. So the mod of a is always maximum at 9. Mod of a is always at maximum at 9. And that is question number 5, another straightforward question. Next, it is a question on triangles. So let's quickly get us a triangle. ABC is a triangle. BC is 5. D is the foot of the perpendicular from A onto BC. So we now have a perpendicular. That is D. E is a point such that BE is 3. So now I do not know the length of, I have the length of BC as 5. If BE is 3, then E will be somewhere over here, so that EC becomes 2. And I can also join this if required. The value of AB square minus AE square plus 6 times CD, right? And I'll take this value as X if it may be required, and I have BE is 3. So first of all, I'm going to use my Pythagoras theorem. So AB square, let's use this space over here. AB square minus BD square is equal to h square, the altitude, and then in this triangle again let me use I need AE square, right? So in this triangle let me use Pythagoras to get AE square minus x square. The altitude h square is equal to AE square minus x square. So now I'm getting close. I get my AB square minus AE square is equal to BD square minus x square. So yeah, I get BD plus x and BD minus x. So BD plus x and BD minus x, right? So BD plus x is of course 3. And I still need the value of 6 CD. What we need to do is we also need our 6 CD. So let me add that on both sides. AB square minus AE square plus 6CD is equal to BD plus x is 3. And BD, let me write BD as 3 minus x. So 3 minus x and then minus x. And plus, of course, 6 CD on both sides. And CD is 2 plus x. This should give us our answer. So you get 3 times 3 minus 2x plus 6 times 2 plus x. 6x gets cancelled and 9 plus 12, 21 is the right answer for question number 6. Next is question number 7. It's a nice question and a little challenging also. 7th, the addition of 7 positive integers is 1740. A, B, C, D, E, F, G is 1740, and these numbers have something common between them. That's the HCF. What is the largest possible HCF? They are 7 different numbers. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले, if all of these numbers have something common between them, what could be that number? So very quickly we do the prime factorization. 87 and 3 से गया, सॉरी 8 2 से गया 87 and 29 1. Okay. So these are my numbers now. ठीक है. And largest possible option is 140. But यहाँ पे 140 possible ही नहीं है. Right? If you are adding all of these numbers to get a total of 1740, can 140 be something common among all of these numbers? 140 तो 1740 को divide ही नहीं कर रहा. Are you all getting what I am saying? There is something common between all of these numbers, that is the HCF. So the HCF should divide or be a factor of 1740. यहाँ पे 140 है ही नहीं a factor of 1740. 74 is not a factor of 1740. 42 is not a factor of 1740. So the only options available now are 60 and none of these. अगर तुक्का मारना हो तो 60 को आप mark करके चल सकते हो. You can take that kind of risk. If 60 is your HCF and you remove 60, then you get 29, right? So therefore, as soon as you remove 60, can I get sum of 7 numbers as 29? Right? So let's check. 7 distinct numbers. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. Plus 5, 15. Plus 6, 21. And plus 8, 29. It is possible. It is possible to do this. So 60 can be the HCF. So what would the numbers be? 16 to 1, 16 to 2, 16 to 3, 16 to 4, like that. Okay? The answer is question 7 ka answer, B part 60. This is the 8th question. Jose borrowed some money from his friend at simple interest 10%. It's simple interest 10%. And he invested the entire amount in stocks. Let's say that he has borrowed 1000x simple interest 10%. At the end of the first year, 1 year has passed, 10% interest 1100x is to be paid. He repaid 1/5 of the principal amount. 1000x ka 1/5 is 200x. So you get 900x. 900x is now yet to be paid, of which the principal is 800x, right? Because out of 1000x, 200x principal has been paid. Now at the end of the second year, simple interest gives you interest only on principal. So out of 1000x, 200x is now gone. So principal 800x is left. Let me write down the principal over here as a separate calculation. Principal is currently 1000x. Now principal is 800x. ठीक है, इस 800x पे अब 10%, which gives you a 980x is now to be paid. He repaid half of the remaining principal amount. Out of 800x, he has paid half, that is 400x. So you get a total of 580x. So when 400x is gone, principal remaining is 400x. ठीक है? And at the end of the third year, he repaid the entire principal amount, right? So now 400x is the principal. On this 10% is 40x. So 620x. 5 add 40x, you get 620x. And what he does is that he repays the remaining principal amount, that is 400x. and now the principal is has been paid off. Only interest is to be paid off. That's 220x. At the end of the fourth year, he paid the last 3 years interest amount, which is 220x. And as there was no principal amount left, his friend did not charge any interest in the fourth year. Friend did not charge any interest. So at the end of the fourth year, he sold all his stocks. Later, he calculated that he gained 97,500 after paying principal and interest amounts to his friend. Right? So principal 1000x, interest 220x. He has paid back. If his invested amount in the stocks doubled at the end of the fourth year, 1000x का double is 2000x. ठीक है, ये 2000x हो गया. From that, remove everything, the principal that he borrowed and the interest that he had to pay, and he gained a total of 97,500 rupees. Just some basic calculations, right? So subtract the values, and so you have 2000 minus 1220x is 780x is equal to 97,500, and then do your unitary method to find out 1000x to get 125,000 as your answer. The answer for question number 8 is D part. Number 9 now. The Guava Club has won 40% of their football matches. Let's say 100x. They have won 40x, and remaining they have lost 60x. If they play another n matches and win all of their matches, their winning percentage will improve to 50. Right? So यहाँ से फटाफट n मिल जाएगा. 40x, they win another n matches, and 100x, they play another n matches. Right? Into 100 is equal to 50, यानी कि winning percentage becomes half. They have won half of their matches. यहाँ से फटाफट 40x into 80x plus 2n is 100x plus n, so n is equal to 20x. ठीक है, 80x plus 2n, 100x plus n, 20x is n. n का वैल्यू मिल गया. Further, if they play 15 more matches and they win all of them, winning percentage goes from 50 to 60. ठीक है, तो already वो खेल चुके हैं. They have already played 40x, and then they have played another 20x. Sorry, 1, and we want them to win another 15 matches. Total is 100x. They played another 20x. They won all of them. They played another 15 matches. They won all of them. Then the winning percentage goes to 60%. That is 60 upon 100. That is 3 upon 5. ठीक है, how many matches has the Guava Club played in the Apple Cup so far? And there are only two possible outcomes, win or loss. So we just solve this. 40x, 60x into 5 is 300x plus 75 is equal to 120 to 43, 60x plus 45. 75, 45 is 30 is equal to 60x implies x is equal to half. When x is half, so 100x becomes 50. They have played 50 matches so far. Standard question on percentages. Answer is 50. The 10th question. It's a standard trigonometry question. Sine power 6, 15 degrees plus sine power 6, 75 degrees plus 6 times. So इसको देख के ही लग रहा है that we might want to try to create an a cube plus b cube scenario, right? So how do you do that? So you get sine square 15 cube. Okay, so I'm going to write sine square 15 degrees as A and sine square 75 degrees as B, right? And sine square 75 degrees is actually cos square 15 degrees. So ये दोनों के दोनों B हो जाएंगे. So now what do you have? You have basically A cube, right? Because ये sine square का cube हो गया, plus B cube, because ये sine square 75 degrees का cube हो गया, plus 3AB. So you have 6 AB over here because this is A and this is B. This is A and this is B. So उसमें से 3AB अलग कर देते हैं and अगला 3AB अलग कर देते हैं. Let's write it as 3AB plus 3AB. अच्छा, what is A square? What is A plus B? A plus B is sin square 15 plus cos square 15, which is 1. तो अगर ये 1 है तो यहाँ पे let me write down A plus B. ठीक है? We're going to do something similar in the denominator, and I'll write A square sin square 15 का square plus B square cos square 15 का square plus 2AB twice of sin square 15 sin square 75 and then plus 3AB. ऐसा करते थे. ठीक है? What does this reduce to now? So ये क्या हो गया आपका? A cube plus B cube plus 3AB into A plus B becomes A plus B का cube plus 3AB divided by A plus B का square plus 3AB, where A plus B is 1. So you get 1 plus 3AB divided by 1 plus 3AB, and that is 1. So 1 is the right answer, and that is C part. 1 is the right answer, and that is C part. Now let me tell you just a little bit, a kind of a hack or a trick that sometimes can work in a trigonometry question. What I am observing over here is that I have two angles of sine whose sum is 100. Two angles of sine whose sum is 100. So something, a kind of hack that sometimes works in trigonometry is, instead of 15 and 75, I took 0 and 90. Instead of 15 and 75, I took 0 and 90 to get sine power 6 0 plus sine power 6 90 degrees plus 6 sine square 0 degrees sine square 90 degrees divided by sine power 4 15 degrees plus sine power 4 75 degrees. Oh, sorry. Instead of 15, I am taking 0. And instead of 75, I am taking 90. Plus, instead of 6, we can make it 5. यहाँ पे कर दो 5. ठीक है? Of course, so sine 0 becomes 0. Sine 0, this whole thing becomes 0. And you get sine power 6 90. That's 1 power 6 and upon 1 power 4. तो ये आपका 1 आ गया. So just a little hack that worked out for us for question number 10. The next question is a standard coordinate geometry question. The coordinates of ABC are given in terms of small a, small b, small c. So we can assume some values of our choice. Let's say 3 to 1. A is 3, B is 2, C is 1. Right? Let's try this out. So what are my coordinates now? It's 3, comma, B minus 2C. So 2 minus 2, 0. And that is A, 3, comma, B plus 4C. That's 2 plus 4, 6. And minus 2A, that's minus 6, comma, 3C. that's 3. And now we plot very quickly. Do we need to plot? Not required. Let's just calculate the area. We know the formula for area of any polygon. Half x1 x2 sorry x1 y1 x2 y2 x3 y3 and again x1 y1. This should give us the area for this structure, and we get half. Take 2 at a time. 6 3s are 18, minus 3 into 0 is 0, plus 3 3s are 9, minus of minus 36, that's plus 36, minus 6 into 0 is 0, minus 9. 9 cancel. 36 plus 18 is 54. 54 upon 2, 27. I'm getting a 2 7 27. Let's check from the options. 6 into 3 into 2 into 1 is definitely not 27. 9 into 3 into 2 into 1. 36, 54, 54 upon 2, 8, 27. Yeah. 6 into, sorry, 9 into 3 into 2 into 1. 9 into 3 into 2 into 1. And that is a 54. C part is 6 into B2 into C1. You get 6 2s are 12, and 9AC, that's 9 into 3, 27 into 2, into 1 and 27. So this is the only option that is satisfying your value of 27. None of the others are giving you a 27, so you can mark D part for question number 11. D part is the right answer. This is question number 12. Seems to be very challenging, and many people left this question, but there's nothing there in this question because of the nature of the options. 5 students have appeared. Average mark of these 5 students is 40. Average is 40. If average is 40 means somebody is there less than 40, somebody is there greater than 40. You have your minimum value less than equal to your average is less than equal to your maximum value. Somebody is there less than 40, somebody is there more than 40 for sure. We don't know how many less, how many more. Okay? The maximum mark of the examination is 100. Each of the 5 students scored more than 10 marks. Okay. However, none of them scored exactly 40. Fine. Which of the following must be true? 100%. Somebody has to be less than 40. E part is the right answer. Finished. Somebody scored less than 40. To do a more in-depth analysis of this question, you basically have 5 students and the sum of the values is 40 into 5, 200. Okay. So obviously somebody has to be less than 40. Can I have 4 people greater than 40? Can I have 4 people greater than 40? Let's say 41 each. 41, 82, 164 out of 200. So you are left with 36. So yes, it is possible. I can have 4 people greater than 40. If I can have 4 greater than 40, then I can have 3 greater than 40 also. Can I have only one person greater than 40? Let's say that the maximum mark is 100. So I give 100 over here. 200 minus 100. 100 is left to be divided among 4 people. That's 25 each. So I can have one person above 40. I need at least somebody above the average, and I can have up to 4 people above 40. I can't have everybody above 40. And so that's question number 12. This is question number 13, another standard basic question. Nothing complicated over here. R and S are playing a number game. First, they have both taken a positive integer independently. Then they have multiplied their integer by 2 and then subtracted 20 from the resultant numbers. Now each of them has a new number. Then they divide their respective numbers by 5. Divided by 5. Finally, they add their results and they get that the sum is 16. So you get that the sum is 16 over here. Apologies. Sum is 16. 16 into 5, 80, plus 20 is 100, plus 20 is 120, upon 2, r plus s is 60. If r plus s is 60, maximum possible difference you can between these two positive integers, you can take 1 and 59, so the difference becomes 58. So the answer is B part. The next is from permutations and combinations related to a chessboard. On that note, we have a new world champion, Gukesh, who is 18 years old and he's from India. So we are celebrating another Indian world champion after Vishwanathan Anand. A painter draws 64 equal squares on a square canvas measuring 64 square inches. And I have just taken a chessboard, but actually this is not a chessboard question. Okay? She chooses two squares randomly and then paints them. What is the probability that the two painted squares have a common side? Okay? So painter has drawn 64 equal squares of 1 square inch on a square canvas measuring 64 स्क्वायर इंचेस, यानी कि इस तरीके से स्क्वायर बनाया 8 by 8 का. व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट टू पेंटेड स्क्वायर्स हैव अ कॉमन साइड? सो फर्स्ट लेट अस पिक टू स्क्वायर्स. 64C2 दो स्क्वायर्स आपने पिक कर लिए, ठीक है. एंड लेट्स स्टार्ट कैलकुलेटिंग अलोंग द फर्स्ट रो. What is the probability that these two squares share a common side? So they could be these two squares, right, sharing this common side, or they could be these two squares, ये दूसरा, or these two squares, third combination, or these two squares, fourth combination, these two squares, fifth combination, sixth combination, and seventh combination. So along the first row you have 7 possible favorable cases, and then you have 8 such rows. You have 8 such rows. Okay? Similarly, if you consider the columns, along the first column over here you have these two squares that you can take who have a common side. Okay? So along the first column, then these two squares have a common side. Third combination of two squares with a common side in the middle. Fourth combination, fifth combination, sixth combination, and seventh combination. Okay? So along the first column there are 7 possibilities of taking squares sharing a common side, and there are 8 columns. There are 8 columns, so you get 7 8 are 56 into 2, 112 divided by 64C2 निकालना है. 64C2 is how much? 64 32 into 63, which happens to be 112 divided by 2016. They have not chosen to simplify this. The answer for question number 14 is A part. It's a standard series question. So you have the next term. If A1 is 1, the next term is 1 upon 1 plus 1 upon A1. Okay? So if I were to simplify this a little bit, it becomes 1 upon AN plus 1 and upon AN, so the AN goes on top. Okay? And now if I just simplify it further if required, add 1 and subtract 1, and then इसको separate कर दो, an plus 1 को separate कर दो, you get 1 minus 1 upon an plus 1. ठीक है? So next it becomes 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus 1. 1 minus half, it becomes half. ठीक है? Next term, यहाँ पे हाफ रखोगे तो हाफ प्लस वन इज 3/2, उल्टा करके 2/3, सो 1 - 2/3 बिकम्स 1/3. नेक्स्ट यहाँ पे 1/3 रखो, राइट, पिछला वाला टर्म टू गेट द नेक्स्ट टर्म, दिस होल थिंग इज इक्वल टू an+1. So you get 1/3 plus 1 is 4/3, तो 3/4, 1 - 3/4 is 1/4. एंड आपको पैटर्न मिल गया 1/1, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5 एंड सो ऑन. ठीक है. द लास्ट टर्म, the 2009th term will become 1/2009. Now I can get the nth term. Nth term is going to be simply 1/n into n+1. Right? Because what is the first term? A1, A2 क्या है? 1 into half. A1, A2 is 1 into half. Okay, let me show you. What is the first term? 1/1 into 2. Second term is 1/2 into 3. Third term is 1/3 into 4, and so on. Nth term becomes 1/n into n+1. Standard procedure over here now. Let's add and subtract 1. Sorry, let us write 1 as n+1 minus n. 1 को लिखेंगे as n+1 minus n. Standard series question, separate the terms. 1/n minus 1/n+1. आपका tn is now 1/n minus 1/n+1. We have to go till the 2008th term. I have to add 2008 term. I have to add starting from A1 because it's A1, A2, A2, A3. So A1 se leke we have to go till 2008 terms, right? So at the bottom, I want the sum of 2008 terms, and then I start putting in n equal to 1, 2, 3. When you put n equal to 1, what do you get? 1 minus half. 2 dalo, half minus 1/3, and so on. What will be the last term? 2008 डालेंगे. 1/2008 minus 1/2009. तो ये ऐसे cancel 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 cancel, this process starts. End में you are left with 1 minus 1/2009 is 2008/2009. The answer is C part. Question that is generally covered in our classes. Non-flying ant wants to travel from the bottom corner to the diagonally opposite top corner, and the side of the room is 2. What is the minimum distance? So what happens is that आपका एक room होगा. Let's say you have a kind of cuboidal room. ठीक है, ये आपका cuboidal room है. Now what we do is that we basically push down one of these walls, right? अगर आप एक particular face ले रहे हो, let's say this is the floor of the room, 2D diagram. इसके सामने वाली जो दीवार है, push it down, right? So this is slightly challenging to explain in a video format, but ये class में समझ में आ जाता है इस तरीके से. So your ant, which is over here, has to come to this particular point, and it seems to be following this particular hypotenuse on this right angle triangle. On this right angle triangle. ठीक है. So if you were to look, yeah, this is a little difficult to explain in a video format because it's a 3D structure. तो सामने वाले वहाँ सामने corner पे you have your ant. Push this wall down. Imagine you're pushing it down. Then from there it will be seem to be following this particular hypotenuse. So 2 plus 2 4 square plus 2 square का square root लेना है हमें. That's root 20. Root 20 is 2√5. E part is the right answer. It came in this question. This type of question came in CAT many years ago. The kind of series questions. Question number 17, I believe. Suppose Haruka has a special key called the delta key. Rule 1. If the display shows a 1-digit number, then press करने पे वो value double हो जाएगी. If it shows a 2-digit number, then it is replaced by sum of digits. Very simple. Suppose Haruka enters the value 1 and then she starts pressing delta. तो अभी हम डबल करते जाएंगे until single digit है. डबल डबल डबल, ठीक है. 8 को डबल किया तो 16 आ गया. नाउ व्हेन यू प्रेस डेल्टा तो यू गेट सम ऑफ डिजिट्स. 1 + 6 is 7. 7 का डबल 14. 1 + 4 is 5. 5 का डबल is 10. And finally, after 10, again you will come back to 1. So this becomes a cyclicity of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cycle of 9. This is a cycle of 9. If she presses 68 times, that means 9 7 are 63. 63 तक तो ऐसे ही चलेगा. 1 2 4 8 16 7 14 5 10 ऐसे करते करते 63 times हो गया. Then 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. What will be the displayed number? What will be the displayed number? After 63 times, we are back to 1. ठीक है. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल साइकिल ऑफ 9 कैसे, एक डेल्टा दबाया फर्स्ट टाइम, सेकंड टाइम, फर्स्ट टाइम दबाया तो 2 आया, सेकंड टाइम दबाया तो 4 आया, थर्ड फोर्थ फिफ्थ सिक्स्थ सेवन्थ एट्थ टाइम एंड देन 9th टाइम दबा के वापस आप 1 पे आ गए. मीन्स 63rd टाइम दबा के वापस आप 1 पे आ गए. 64th 65th 66 67 68th टाइम दबा के you reach 7, and so 7 is the right answer for question number 17. This is again something that is very very straightforward, and people just end up spending so much time on this without realizing that jo nikalna hai is staring at you in the face. There's a small jar, it has water, lime and sugar in this ratio. A glass containing only sugar and water in it is mixed. So small jar and glass ko mix kar diya, you get a bigger jar which has water, lime and sugar in the ratio 85:5:10. Find the percentage of water in the bigger jar. Water is 85 parts. 85 upon 85 plus 5 plus 10, that's 100. ठीक है, percentage चाहिए into 100. You get 85 as the right answer. That is question number 18. Question number 19. There are 3 sections and each section has 10 questions. First section only has MCQ questions. So each section has 10 questions. 1, 2, 3. ठीक है. And you have the correct questions, wrong questions and unattempted questions के marks. First section, 2 for every correct answer, minus 0.5 for every wrong answer. Unattempted question will be treated as a wrong answer, minus 0.5. Each question in the second section carries 3 marks, whereas each question in the third section carries 5 marks. 3 idhar, 5 idhar. For any wrong or unattempted question, no marks are deducted. Wrong या unattempted के marks are not deducted. ठीक है. A student score is the addition of all marks. What is the 6th highest possible score? तो मुझे deductions करनी है, and if I get all questions correct and then wrong, ठीक है, wrong or unattempted whatever, तो वो लिख लेते हैं, marks लिख लेते हैं. अब हम हमारे we have the correct questions and then we have the wrong questions के marks and we have the unattempted questions के marks. तो first obviously let's say सारे correct हैं. 10 20 30 all questions are correct. ठीक है. Okay, चलो इसको थोड़ा ऐसे लिखते हैं. If all questions are correct, then I will have 10 into 2 plus 10 into 3 plus 10 into 5, and this gives me a total of 100 marks. Highest score 100 marks. ठीक है. Now एक काम करते हैं कि let us in the first section have 9 questions that are correct. ठीक है. अगर 9 correct हैं देन एक क्वेश्चन का, ओके जस्ट लिसन वेरी केयरफुली, इफ 9 क्वेश्चंस आर करेक्ट देन यू विल लूज 2 मार्क्स, राइट, बिकॉज वो 9 क्वेश्चंस आर करेक्ट तो एक गलत है, उसके 2 मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे एंड 0.5 और डिडक्ट हो जाएंगे, सो इट विल बी अ ड्रॉप ऑफ 2.5 मार्क्स एंड यू विल गेट 97.5 मार्क्स। ठीक है, अगर फर्स्ट सेक्शन के अंदर इफ़ आई हैव 9 करेक्ट दैट मीन्स एक क्वेश्चन करेक्ट नहीं हुआ तो उसके 2 नंबर गए एंड बिकॉज वो रॉन्ग या अनअटेम्प्टेड है यू ऑल्सो लूज अनदर हाफ मार्क, सो यू गेट 97.5। ठीक है, ये आपका सेकेंड हाईएस्ट स्कोर हो गया। देन थर्ड हाईएस्ट स्कोर, लेट्स से दैट सेकेंड सेक्शन के देर आर 9 क्वेश्चंस करेक्ट, बाकी सारा सेम है, 10 इधर 10 इधर। when you have 9 questions correct over here तो 3 मार्क यहाँ पे कम जाएंगे, नहीं मिलेंगे and you'll get 97 marks. What you do is you try to think of a score which will be lower than 97. So what I can think of is 97 से कम अगर आपको करना है and every question from section 1 जो कम सही होता है is a drop of 2.5 marks, 3 marks over here, 5 marks over here. So let's drop 5 marks. यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन कम करो, ये सारे के सारे करेक्ट हो जाएंगे, वी नाउ रीच 95 मार्क्स, दिस इज द फोर्थ हाईएस्ट स्कोर। हमें सिक्स्थ हाईएस्ट तक जाना है, वी रीच 95। हाउ कैन आई नाउ रीच समथिंग लोअर देन 95? लेट्स थिंक 95, 5.5 कम करते हैं, लेट्स डू 9 करेक्ट हेयर एंड 9 करेक्ट हेयर एंड ऑल करेक्ट ओवर हेयर। 95 से थोड़ा सा कम, इट्स अ ड्रॉप ऑफ 2.5 मार्क्स हेयर एंड 3 मार्क्स हेयर। 5.5 का ड्रॉप करोगे यू विल गेट अ 94.5 मार्क्स हेयर एज द 1 2 3 4 फिफ्थ हाईएस्ट स्कोर। फाइनली वी रीच द सिक्स्थ हाईएस्ट स्कोर, 94.5 से नीचे ऑफ कोर्स विल बी 94, 3 मार्क्स यहाँ पे कम करो, बाकी सारे करेक्ट। 97, 94, 94 becomes the right answer for question number 19 का B part. Question, a trapezoid is basically a trapezium only. Question number 19 के बाद 20. ABCD is a trapezoid where BC is parallel to AD and perpendicular to AB. BC is parallel to AD, perpendicular to AB. This is 90 degrees. BC is less than AD. ठीक है, P is a point on AD such that CPD is equilateral. ये आपका CPD हो गया equilateral triangle 60 60 60. Q is a point on BC such that AQ is parallel to BC, सॉरी PC. तो ये एक पैरेलल लाइन चाहिए यहाँ पर। AQ is parallel to BC, तो ये 60, तो ये 120, तो दिस नाउ बिकम्स अ पैरेललोग्राम। 120, तो ये भी 120 एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयरफॉर दिस बिकम्स 60 एंड ये 30, यू गेट अ 30 60 90 ट्राइंगल ओवर हियर। एरिया ट्राइंगल CPD इज 4√3, CPD आपका इक्विलैटरल ट्राइंगल है, √3/4 a स्क्वायर इज 4√3। ठीक है, तो a इज इक्वल टू 4, ये आपका a 4 आ गया, सो दिस इज ऑल्सो 4। सो 90 के सामने द साइड इज 4, तो 30 के सामने द साइड बिकम्स 2 एंड 60 के सामने 2√3, यू गेट योर एरिया एज हाफ, बेस इज 2, ऑल्टीट्यूड इज 2√3, सो योर आंसर इज 2√3। A part is the right answer for question number 20. It is question number 21. Till now we have found our paper to be fairly straightforward, so that should be reflected in the cutoffs as well. Separately, Jack and Srishti invested the same amount of money in a stock market. Jack's amount kept getting reduced by 50%, half hote gaya every month. Srishti also reduced, but in an AP with a common difference of 15,000. They both withdrew their respective amounts at the end of the 6th month. After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and 6 months. ठीक है. So um, because jack का value half होते जा रहा है, so let's say that at the end of the sixth month the value is p. That means before 1 month was 2p, 4p, 8p, 16p, 32p, 64p. बिकॉज वैल्यू हाफ होते जा रहा था. ठीक है. दिस इज मिस्टर जैक. Srishti has invested the same amount of money, so she is also starting with 64p, and then there is a difference of 15,000 rupees. ठीक है. So same thing, एंड में क्या हो जाएगा, 64p minus, so minus 15,000 and then another minus 15 becomes minus 30, 45, 60, 75, 90,000. So the final value is minus 90,000. ठीक है. They observed that if they had withdrawn their respective amounts at the end of the fourth month, first month, second month, third month, fourth month, this is at the end of the fourth month, then the ratio of their amount would have been the same as the ratio of the sixth month. So the ratio of the sixth month is p upon 64p minus 90,000. This is the ratio at the end of the sixth month. What about at the end of the fourth month, right? It is 64p minus 15, 30, 45, 60 minus 60,000. ठीक है. So this is 4p divided by 64p minus 60,000, and p gets cancelled, and now we need to solve this in order to get the value of p. ठीक है. What amount of money was invested by Jack in the stock market? That is 64p. So we need to simply solve this basic cross multiply, and you will get 64p is equal to 1 lakh. A part is the right answer for question 21. Last quants question of this paper, question number 22. Let x and y be two positive integers and p is a prime number. And we open this up. If x square minus xp minus y square minus yp is equal to 7p, what is the minimum value of x minus y? So we get x plus y into x minus y, that is x square minus y square, minus p common, x plus y is equal to 7p. So now we can take x plus y common, and you get x minus y minus p is equal to 7p. ठीक है. Where p is a prime number, so we'll write it as 7 into p. So p can be a prime number 2, p could be 3, p could be 5, and so on. ठीक है. Another point to be observed over here now is that the polarity of x plus y and x minus y is same. What do I mean by polarity? Polarity means odd even. ठीक है. So अगर आपका x and y में दोनों odd हैं, then x plus y and x minus y दोनों odd plus odd even हो जाएंगे. अगर दोनों even है तो even plus even या even minus even even हो जाएगा. And if you have one odd one even, then odd plus even odd हो जाएगा. ठीक है. Polarity stays the same. So now the product of these two numbers is 7 into 2, and that is 14. ठीक है, which is an even number. अच्छा. So now first case, if x plus y is odd, then x minus y is also odd, and P is of course 2, then odd minus 2 is again odd. Okay? And odd into odd cannot be 14. Did you get this? If x plus y is odd, x minus y is also odd, and odd minus 2 is also odd. So you get odd into odd, which is 14, which is not possible. ठीक है? That means x plus y odd नहीं हो सकता, तो आपका x plus y is even. ठीक है? आपका x plus y अब अगर even है, तो x minus y is also even. ठीक है? X minus y is also even, and even minus 2. You get an even number minus 2. So this is also even. This is also even. ठीक है? यानी कि I need 2 even factors of 14. 7 into 2 14. Even into even. I need 2 even factors of 14 which don't exist. 14 has only which 2 even factors? सिर्फ 2 है हमारे पास. ठीक है? या फिर what am I trying to say? Can I get 14 as product of 2 even factors? No, I cannot. 14 as product of 2 even factors is not possible. या तो वो 14 into 1 होगा, एक odd एक even, या तो 7 into 2 होगा, एक odd एक even. So this is not possible. 2 तो नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है? Next you get 7 into 3. 7 into 3 is 21, which means that these two factors have to be odd. Agar product of two numbers is an odd number, that means both of these numbers have to be odd. ठीक है? X plus y is odd and x minus y minus p is also odd. Now let us go a little deeper into this. खत्म होने वाला है question. How is this an odd number? X plus y is odd, x minus y is also odd, minus 3. ठीक है? At one point we are saying that the second term x minus y minus p has to be odd, but then when we are checking we are realizing that actually this is not possible, because x minus y is odd and the prime number is 3 or 5 or 7 whatever, so odd minus 3. ठीक है? So odd minus 3 is even. Any odd number minus 3 is even. So we want an odd number, but when x plus y is odd, x minus y minus p is definitely even. That means that this is also not possible. That means that p as a prime number 2 did not work and any other odd prime number did not work. That means that this equation does not exist. So this is a little bit tricky. In the exam, obviously, you might possibly just take cases and then realize, oh, it's not working out. Right? So in solving this, when I took P as 2, I realized that even into even is equal to 14. 14 is product of two even numbers, which is not possible. When I have 7 into 3, 21, that means that these two numbers are odd. Okay? Odd into odd will give you 21. But x minus y minus p cannot be odd, because x minus y is odd and minus 3 करके वो even हो जाएगा, and therefore this equation does not exist. So therefore the answer will be none of the above. Next we entered the DI set. The next set is a DI set which does not have a lot of numbers, which means that it's largely an observation based set. The information given below, it follows that there are islands which have different levels of monetization, and graph 3 captures 13 different socio-economic activities across 4 islands. So you have a total of 4 islands. I think the islands are named over here: Roviana, Gizo, Nijiham Dweep and Chittagong. In graph 1, what you have is that you have a lot of these dots. You have GDP per capita in comparison with satisfaction with life. ठीक है? सेकेंड ग्राफ में क्या है, you have these things written A, B, C, D, and then you have for the 4 islands the parameter for satisfaction with life for the 4 islands, affect balance, momentary balance, index of monetization. These have not been defined. You have graph number 3, which now talks about all of these values which are there in the previous graph. Index of monetization is percentage of table fish sold outside the islands. Momentary effect is mood captured at various points. ESM is express sentiment method, something like that. N represents the number of respondents. Important. N is the number of respondents. Now, for each of these islands, for example, Roviana, they have mentioned the number of people who have marked something positive for a certain activity. Okay? For example, pleasant activity mein, a very large number of people have voted. So this is the data provided. Which of the following will best capture the relationship between GDP and life satisfaction? So between GDP and life satisfaction, you can see this is the graph that they have formed and this is the graph of log x. पहला सवाल is straightforward, but it's so confusing while you are looking at the graph in the exam. So then we can look at the next question. Which of the following about the 4 islands can be best inferred from the graphs? ठीक है. So let's check. For example, when affect balance increases, satisfaction with life decreases. Means is it an inverse relationship? So for example, यहाँ पे आपका affect balance देखो पहले बढ़ रहा है. Affect balance is increasing, decreasing, increasing. Right? There has to be an inverse relationship. Affect balance and satisfaction with life. Increase, decrease, increase. इंक्रीज डिक्रीज इंक्रीज का इन्वर्स रिलेशनशिप हो जाएगा डिक्रीज इंक्रीज डिक्रीज. सो वी हैव टू चेक नाउ सेटिस्फैक्शन विद लाइफ डिक्रीज हो रहा है क्या? सेटिस्फैक्शन डिक्रीज इंक्रीज डिक्रीज हो रहा है क्या? डिक्रीज इंक्रीज डिक्रीज. From this graph to this graph, you can observe that this particular variation, या इधर से आ जाओ फॉर एग्जाम्पल. सो ओवर हियर यू हैव दिस वैल्यू एंड देन इट इज़ लार्जली डिक्रीजिंग. वैल्यू और कॉन्सेंट्रेशन इज डिक्रीजिंग. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हमें डिक्रीज ही चाहिए था. लेट्स कम फ्रॉम हियर टू हियर. दिस वैल्यू इज ऑल्सो डिक्रीजिंग. यहाँ पे देयर इज मोर कॉन्सेंट्रेशन टूवर्ड्स 10, नाउ देयर इज मोर कॉन्सेंट्रेशन टूवर्ड्स 7.5. तो ये भी डिक्रीज कर रहा है जबकि इंक्रीज करना था. सो देयरफॉर यू कैन rule out option number A. ठीक है. Whenever pleasant activities increase, satisfaction with life decreases. Again inverse relationship. So satisfaction with life largely यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा what has happened? It has increased, then decreased, then decreased. Satisfaction with life increase, decrease, decrease किया, तो pleasant activities should decrease, increase, increase. Inverse relationship. Pleasant activities should decrease, increase, increase. Where is pleasant activities? Pleasant activities. Okay, pleasant activities is over here, this graph. We are looking for decrease, increase, increase. So pleasant activity, if you look carefully from this point, ये थोड़ा सा और पीछे आ गया, decrease हो गया. बट उसके बाद टूवर्ड्स द थर्ड ग्राफ और डिक्रीज हो गया, तो ये डिक्रीज हो गया. वेयर एज वी आर लुकिंग फॉर डिक्रीज इंक्रीज इंक्रीज. सो बी ऑप्शन इज ऑल्सो गॉन. लाइक दिस यू हैव टू इवेल्युएट ईच ऑप्शन. इफ यू लुक एट ऑप्शन नंबर ई, इंडेक्स ऑफ मोनेटाइजेशन. So index of monetization varies maximum for Nijiham Dwip. So you can check index of monetization. ये थोड़ा सा वेरी कर रहा है, थोड़ा कम वेरी कर रहा है, सबसे ज़्यादा Nijiham Dwip में वेरी कर रहा है. E part is the right answer for question number 24. ठीक है, and then we can check which of the following sites has the highest fishing to economic ratio? Fishing is over here, economic ratio is over here. So you can see fishing is a larger value, economic ratio is a smaller value, so greater than 1. Oh, sorry, we have to go by island. Where is Gizo? Gizo is over here. So fishing to economic ratio, fishing is smaller, economic ratio is larger, ये less than 1 हो गया. Chittagong, fishing is smaller, economic ratio is larger, ये भी less than 1 हो गया. Roviana, fishing is larger, economic ratio is smaller, this becomes greater than 1. Nijiham Dwip, fishing is larger, economic ratio is smaller, but they are quite close. So compared to Roviana, Roviana is also greater than 1, but it is much greater than 1 because fishing and इकोनॉमिक रेशियो में गैप से आता है, whereas यहाँ पे गैप कम है तो ये ग्रेटर देन 1 हो जाएगा. Therefore C part would be the right answer over here. C part is the right answer over here. And after that you have another set, but again this set XAT informed later on that there is some error over here, so full marks were awarded to all students. So this is the score versus percentile calculator for XAT 2023. And in order to clear cutoff, in order to get a good score, obviously, depending upon your category, anybody should be aiming for this particular range between 95 and 99. This is the range to be aiming for, and depending upon your strengths. So if there's anybody who has done a good preparation, and if quants and DI is considered to be difficult, could you have scored, or how difficult would have been for you to score 90 percentile or 14 marks? For that, let us check which were the very, very doable questions in this exam. Okay. So question number 1 was a little tricky, always is when you have number of possible combinations. Question number 2 was also based upon relative speed and a little tricky, means it wasn't easy, straightforward. Question number 3 was straightforward. 4 was everybody got free marks. 5th was easy. 6th was tough. 7th was tough. 8th was tough. 9th was very easy. 10th, most people are not conversant with trigonometry. 11th was doable. And 12th was very, very simple. 13th, doable. 14th, again, probability becomes a little challenging. 15th is a standard series question, slightly lengthy. So this was a little tough, agreed. 16th is a standard question that everybody knows who's gone through a preparation. 17th was doable. 18th was direct. And 19th was a little tough. 20th was a standard geometry question, doable. And 21 was easy. 22 was tough. Okay. So over here, and you also got extra 4 marks because of the discrepancy in the question. So that was an extra 4 marks awarded already. I'm assuming that that is already also included in your cutoffs. So I have marked the very, very straightforward and doable questions that anybody could have done without putting in a lot of time. Question 3, 5, 9, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21. It's a total of 3, 6, 11 questions. 11 very, very straightforward questions and 4 free marks would have taken you past 90 percentile. So anybody with an average preparation also, except that you need to be mature enough to understand which questions are doable and which questions are not in this particular exam. Yeah, and of course that is quite daunting, quite challenging. So there were some other tougher questions also which would have taken some time from many students because you did not know whether they were challenging or not. So all in all, with a cutoff of 14 marks for 90 percentile, this was a relatively easy paper. And I'll see you all next time in another video. Thank you and good luck.